warning before you listen. This epic is not for children, nor for the faint of heart. We retell the ancient Greek myths as they were born, unfiltered, unsoftened. Scenes of violence, curses, betrayals, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. Given the many conflicting versions of the Titan War, the events have been rebuilt to complete the missing pieces. Here, we tell the myth as it was meant to be told. Sources and references are listed in the episode description. Chapter 17, From the Titan War, Clash of Weapons, and the Fall of Time. The call to leave. Rhea walks away from war. When the mother left, before the battle began, after the first drop of blood had been spilled, after the wounded guards dragged their pain back to the summit with sparks in their eyes and the scent of an inevitable war thick in their breath, silence crept across Olympus, but not the peace of stillness, rather, the kind of silence that stands before an earthquake. The mountains were bracing, the weapons were being sharpened, maps of flame were laid out by gods, and she stood apart, even while standing among them. Rhea stood at the edge of the peak. The wind tore at her cloak, a cloak no longer meant for warmth and no longer fit for waiting. She looked into Zeus and saw not just thunder, but a cruelty flashing behind his gaze. She saw in Hades a silence, like open graves filled with questions no god dares answer, and in Poseidon a restless tide, not awaiting the moon, but thirsting for blood. They were her sons, but they were no longer boys. The war had burned the child out of them, leaving only the outline of gods forged for battle. That night, between tent smoke and the dim sigh of moonlight, she chose to speak her final words. She came to Hestia first. Didn't whisper, just looked deep into her sister-daughter's eyes and said, "Keep your fires warm. Don't let them turn to ash." Then to Poseidon, she placed her hand gently on his head, as she had when he was small. "The wave is merciless, but never forget the land was your mother too." She stopped in front of Hades, who never raised his eyes, but he didn't have to. "When the sun disappears, you will be the light. Don't extinguish yourself." And finally, she walked to Zeus, the son she once hid in a cave, now leading storms with the fury of a world reborn. She placed her hand on his heart and whispered, "I didn't hide you to make you a killer. I hid you so you could live. But if life must now be paid in death, then never forget, you were born from the womb of a woman, not the mouth of a volcano." She stepped back, and with every step, a piece of her title peeled away. She was no longer the mother, but the one who chose exile. At the mountain's edge, she turned one last time to look upon her 3 sons, their hands clutching the fate of the heavens. And then she said,
"I spent a lifetime in war. Now I only wish to live what's left of it, in silence."
She walked toward the old cave, the one where she once hid the first thunder of her bloodline. She left no tears, no weapons, only an extinguished heart, and a vow to disappear. From there, she continued to the farthest edge of the world, where the priestesses dwell, where no scent of iron dares linger, where thunder has no name, where titans are forgotten, and to them she surrendered, like one who walks into darkness, smiling.
"Don't ask me who I am," she told them. "I was a mother, in a world that shows no mercy to mothers."
From that day forward, Rhea's face was never seen in battle. Her name was never mentioned in council. She faded, like a flame in the presence of a storm, and with her, the age of motherhood ended, and the age of lightning began. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember, what you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth, a story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us, which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why? We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.